Reid Perry announces exit from the band Perry. Thank you for every memory. In a heartfelt message that sent waves through the country and pop music world, Reid Perry, bassist and founding member of the band Perry, announced that he's leaving the group that defined more than a decade of his life. After years of performing alongside his siblings, Kimberly and Neil, Reid shared his gratitude, his memories, and his reasons for stepping into a new chapter. For fans who have followed the band Perry since their early days, this news feels deeply emotional. It's not just about one member leaving a band, it's about the end of a musical era that began with family harmonies, fearless creativity, and a sound that bridged to worlds, country, and pop. The band Perry's story began humbly. 3 siblings from Alabama, raised on gospel, bluegrass, and rock and roll. Their journey was one of relentless drive and shared vision. From small-town performances to the biggest stages in the world, they rose together, united not only by music but by blood. In 2010, their breakthrough came with If I Die Young, a hauntingly beautiful ballad that became one of the defining songs of the decade. Kimberly's ethereal voice, Neil's mandolin melodies, and Reid's grounding bass line created a sound that was unmistakably theirs. The song reached no. 1 on the country charts, crossed over to pop radio, and sold millions of copies, earning them critical acclaim, awards, and a permanent place in the hearts of listeners everywhere. From that moment, the band Perry wasn't just another country act. They were storytellers, crafting songs about love, loss, identity, and the bittersweet edges of life. Hits like Better Dig 2, Done, and Chainsaw showcased their versatility, while their live shows became electric celebrations of family chemistry and creative daring. But behind the spotlight, change was brewing. As music evolved and genres blurred, the band Perry began experimenting with new sounds, shifting from country roots into pop and electronic influences. Their bold 2017 album, My Bad Imagination, marked a complete rebrand, one that surprised fans and critics alike. It was daring, unexpected, and divisive. But for the band Perry, it was necessary. They've always been a group unafraid to reinvent themselves, and Reid was a core part of that evolution. His musicianship gave their music its heartbeat, steady, soulful, and grounded, even as the band's style transformed over the years. Now, after more than a decade of making music together, Reid has decided to walk his own path. In his farewell post, he reflected on what this journey has meant, thanking fans for standing by them through every era, every tour, and every transformation. He wrote with warmth and sincerity, "Thank you for every memory. I'll carry this family, these songs, and this chapter of my life with me always." Those words struck a chord because they spoke not only to the band's past, but also to what's next for him, for Kimberly, and for Neil, for Reid. The decision wasn't about breaking away, it was about growing forward. He expressed his excitement for the new creative direction he plans to take, hinting at solo material that's more personal and introspective. Fans who have followed his quiet strength on stage now get to see what happens when his voice, figuratively and musically, takes center stage. And for the band Perry as a whole, this isn't necessarily goodbye, it's transformation. Kimberly and Neil have shared their support for Reid's decision, emphasizing that their bond as siblings goes far beyond the stage. That kind of family connection doesn't dissolve with a press release, it simply evolves, just like the music. Looking back, their story reads like a timeline of perseverance and reinvention. From the innocence of their early country days to the risks they took in redefining their sound, the band Perry's career has been about embracing change without fear. They've weathered industry shifts, genre debates, and even hiatus rumors, always returning with something fresh, something heartfelt. For Reid, this moment is bittersweet, the end of one chapter and the uncertain beginning of another. But it's also a celebration, a reminder of everything they've accomplished together. Millions of fans have danced, cried, and lived their own stories through the band Perry's music. And for that, Reid's gratitude feels mutual, fan to artist, artist to fan. As he steps into a solo journey, it's hard not to think about what his next act might look like. Will he lean into the rootsy Americana tones that shaped the band's early years? Or will he follow the experimental spirit that fueled their pop evolution? Whatever path he takes, one thing is certain. Reid Perry has a story to tell, and the heart to tell it honestly. In a world where bands often fade quietly into history, the band Perry's music continues to resonate. If I Die Young remains a modern classic, a song that finds new life every year with listeners discovering it for the first time. That's the power of sincerity. That's the power of connection. And that's what Reid Perry leaves behind. Not just bass lines or backing harmonies, but an emotional legacy carved into the soundtrack of a generation. For over a decade, he helped shape a band that dared to evolve, dared to take risks, and dared to stay true to itself. As fans reflect on this moment, there's a quiet sense of gratitude for the songs, the performances, and the memories that defined a musical family. Because while members may part ways, the music never does. It lives on in the chords, in the lyrics, in the moments that changed people's lives. So as Reid Perry says goodbye to this chapter, the message is clear: it's not an ending, it's a continuation. A journey that started with 3 siblings and a dream now branches into something new. And just like every great song the band Perry ever wrote, this story carries the same truth. Love, growth, and courage never really fade. They just find new melodies. For fans everywhere, Reid's words linger softly, like the closing note of a favorite song. Thank you for every memory. And to that, the world replies, thank you, Reid, for all of them.